Welcome back to the Unfiltered Political Lens. I want to thank you for being here. Tonight, I want to talk to you about something that feels bigger than politics and deeper than daily headlines. It's a question many Americans are asking right now, rather quietly to themselves or openly in conversation. Is America breaking apart? When you look around the country today, it can feel like something is shifting beneath our feet. There's tensions in the air. There's frustration in our communities. There is anger in public life and exhaustion in everyday people. No matter where someone lives or what they believe politically, many can feel that this country is carrying a weight that has become impossible to ignore. Every day we hear about another tragedy, another shooting, another murder, another violent confrontation, another protest filled with anger, another family grieving someone they loved, and another community trying to recover after heartbreak. Behind every headline is a real person, a mother mourning a child, a father burying a son or daughter, children growing up with loss, families trying to hold themselves together after everything has changed, communities carrying pain long after the news cycle has moved on. Over time, all of it starts to wear people down, and it becomes exhausting. It becomes emotionally heavy, and for some, it starts to feel normal, even though none of this should ever feel normal. Violence in America is not only physical, sometimes it shows up through words, through hostility, and through how people speak to one another, and how quickly people judge each other before even listening. One of the deepest tensions in this country continues to be race. The relationship between black and white Americans remains painful and complicated, and it continues to come again and again in politics, in the media during protests, online, and in everyday conversations. Racism is a real part of American history, and for many, it is still part of a lived experience today. At the same time, accusations of racism are now part of public life so often that many people feel defensive before a conversation even begins. Some feel unheard when they speak about the discrimination. Others feel unfairly labeled or accused without being understood. And that creates more anger, more hurt, and more distance between people. Too often, conversations about race become battles instead of conversations, and everyone walks away feeling wounded. It leaves people frustrated, and it leaves people divided, and it leaves the country struggling to move forward while carrying old wounds that have never fully healed. And the division we see now has gone far beyond politics. It reaches into homes, families, friendships, workplaces, schools, and neighborhoods. People stop talking to each other over their beliefs, friendships break over political arguments, and families sit in silence at the dinner table because no one wants another fight. Social media adds fuel to every disagreement until the outrage becomes constant and anger becomes identity. It feels like people are no longer debating ideas. They are defending tribes, and once we begin seeing each other as labels instead of human beings, it becomes easier to dismiss pain and easier to assume the worst about one another. America has become deeply divided along political lines as well. Left versus right, conservative versus liberal, red versus blue. But behind those labels are still human beings. Neighbors, coworkers, parents, veterans, teachers, small business owners, families trying to survive. People trying to raise children and make ends meet and build a future. And when Americans begin seeing other Americans as enemies, the damage goes far beyond politics. It starts leaning it starts tearing at the foundation of the country itself. And we also have seen riots. We've seen the unrest. We've seen destruction in cities and violence in our communities. We have seen anger boil over in ways that leave lasting scars. We have seen pain expressed through protests and frustration, which turn into chaos. But violence does not heal the pain. It does not create peace. It does not rebuild trust. It may feel powerful in that moment, but afterward it leaves more grief behind, more fear, more trauma, more damage for communities already carrying too much. Underneath all this, there is something even deeper: despair. Many Americans feel worn down by rising costs, financial stress, debt, uncertainty, loneliness, addiction, and mental health struggles, and fear about the future. Many feel like they are working hard and falling behind anyway. Many feel ignored by leaders that are unheard by the institutions. And some feel blamed. Some feel forgotten. Some feel like nobody is listening at all. And when people feel hopeless for too long, frustration begins to turn into anger, and anger can turn into resentment. So you may ask, what happens now? How does America begin healing from something this deep? Well, it starts with honesty, and we have to admit where we are. America is hurting, and ignoring it won't fix it. We need stronger communities again, and real communities. Real conversations, real listening. We need to talk with each other without immediately assuming the worst. And we need leaders who calm divisions instead of feeding into it. We need space for disagreement without hatred. And we need to talk honestly about race without every conversation turning into a conflict. We need accountability without revenge, justice without destruction, and truth without cruelty. Most of all, we need to remember that we are still human beings first. Before politics, before labels, and before ideology, before arguments online, we are people sharing the same country and the same future. We may not all agree on how to move forward, but we have to find a way to move forward together. America has survived painful chapters before: times of war, times of unrest, and times of injustice. Times when people feared the country might not recover, yet it kept going because enough people believed it was worth fighting for and worth rebuilding. That choice still exists today. So if America is breaking apart, maybe that's the question many people are asking, but maybe the deeper question is whether America still has the strength to come back together, and the answer to that depends on what we choose next. How we speak to one another, how we respond to pain, and how we handle disagreement. Whether we keep pushing further apart or whether we begin rebuilding trust, one conversation at a time. Thank you for tuning into the Unfiltered Political Lens. If this message spoke to you, share it with someone willing to have a real conversation. Leave your thoughts below because I genuinely like to hear them. Do you believe America is breaking apart, or do you believe healing is still possible? Like, subscribe, and stay with the Unfiltered Political Lens for more conversations that go deeper than the headlines. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and thanks for watching. Peace.